Hi everybody, it's me, I'm Matt Halls of The Happy Show, and also of Comics Limited in Evansville, Indiana, located inside the Big E Superstore, open the first and third weekends of every month. Anyway, so I'm going to get into some Happy Show stuff again. I'm going to go through some this folder, which has different missives and different recorded or writings and stuff, scribblings and stuff, all stuff to do with the Happy Show. I want to get through that here in a moment, but I also want to go ahead and make a comment at the beginning of this video because something just happened today after something happened yesterday. And it does relate to the Happy Show. So for that reason, I figured it's kind of appropriate to share it here, even though it has a broader scope than just the Happy Show. So I very much respect the whole idea of copyrights. I benefited from it myself, really. Just as a quick notion, we have a whole bunch of stuff with recently. This is January 2024 as I record this. So within this year, we just got Steamboat Willie became a public domain. The copyright lapsed on that after 95 freaking years, and Disney had fought long and hard to keep extending those that period. And this is one of my problems: is that Disney, nobody alive is connected really to that creation. Walt Disney died a long time ago. Iwerks, he died. So anybody who had anything really to do directly with that cartoon has died a long time ago. We could even argue, did the copyright holder, that being the Walt Disney Company, really technically have rights to have it? I mean, I know legally they did and all, but I'm just saying, morally and ethically, because it wasn't really Walt Disney's creation. Not really. There's a whole background behind that. Anyway, this isn't about that specifically. This is about copyrights. And I'm saying it's just kind of funny because I just did post on that a music video called "Mama's My Baby," which uses audio from my own nephew, who's now in his 30s, who was just a baby at the time when I recorded him in 1987 singing "Mama's My Baby," which he was singing about my mother, his grandmother. And it was a cute little thing, especially for me personally. It's a cute little thing, but I think it's cute in general for everyone. And I took this recording, and in 2017 or so, I had a friend of mine who did music for the Happy Show and all that, and asked him if he would mind, just for fun, just putting that, setting that to some kind of music. And he did a little thing where with music added to it, which is kind of fun. And I'm pretty sure I made a previous video that's on this channel before that, using probably graphics and videos of my nephew himself and all that. I'm pretty sure it's up on this channel. But just recently I was looking for something just quickly for the fun of it to use Steamboat Willie of animation for. So I thought, well, it's in the public domain. I'm going to take a chance and do this, because I do believe, reason why I'm talking about ownership of copyrights, is I do think that there is a certain period, especially when we're talking about a corporation, when it's no longer a personal creator, or the personal creator's passed, because they're no longer the one in control of it. I don't feel corporations necessarily deserve their own artistic works till the end of time, especially whenever they usually get off the backs of the worker, to be honest with you. Not to get proletarian or whatever here, but I'm just saying. But I do still respect on being able to profit off of a creation you did yourself, and so it's a nuanced issue. But my deal is corporations should be able to own it forever, is my basic point. And so that's why I do celebrate this Mickey Mouse thing going into the public domain, because I've copyrighted things myself. I copyright every time I put a pen to the paper, basically, because, real quick crash course lesson, I don't want to take too long. Crash course lesson here, because I'm trying to speak clearly here. I realize sometimes I try to talk quickly and probably come out mush mouth, hopefully not. But anyway, I do want to get to my papers about the Happy Show specifically, but I do want to address some of these things also about copyright before I tell you about my latest news that I'm leading up to. So basically what I was going to just point out to anybody who doesn't know it, your work is copyrighted. Whether you sing or whether you write and draw, whatever's copyrightable is copyright the moment it is put into a reproducible form. So say you sing. Now, if you sing out in the open, you're not going to be able to copyright that. But if you sing onto a recording, you can copyright that, and then all that. You're not paying the Library of Congress or whomever you pay in your specific country. And other countries may have different laws on this, but laws, that pertain to your country. I'm speaking specifically about American law, I guess, here. But once you create something in a basically a tangible, recordable form, reproducible format, that is copyrighted. So you can put the little C symbol on it. You're willing, you're able to do that legally and everything. What you're paying for is to register your copyright, which means you're pretty much laying the claim in a way that you could hopefully fight it in court if somebody took your property and did something with it. Again, I respect people being able to do that, even corporations being able to do that. I just don't think they should, like a company should have that indefinitely. And also there's these other things where companies overreach their boundary, which is what I'm leading up to also. So that said, I wanted to do that video with Steamboat Willie, and this, by the way, my copyright conflict doesn't have to do with Walt Disney. I'm just adding this in because it's related, and it just coincidentally happened. Not I did this a week and the week before, and then this other deal happened with another instance related to the Happy Show. That video wasn't technically the one I just talked about, the Mama's My Baby music video, which uses Steamboat Willie footage set to that music that my friend made to the recording for my nephew from 1987. That I decided, like I said, just to have fun with the fact that Steamboat Willie is in the public domain. Found some music I thought, not strictly speaking, the most appropriate, but not inappropriate. It's, a baby singing. What the heck? I mean, how can that be offensive or misuse in a sense? Even though it's public domain, we can use it pretty much however we want. It doesn't have too much to say unless it somehow can infringe on their existing trademark. Not going to get into the whole thing about trademarks and copyrights. You can research out. I might do another video, but you can search it out on YouTube if you want to check that out. About what the distinctions are. I can go through it, but I'm not going to do it right now. So, basically getting to what the whole meat of this beginning part of my video is supposed to be about, I made a video, which was back when I called my drawing segments Quick Draw, that I featured on the Happy Show. The Quick Draw, because they weren't always quick, to be honest with you. I used to do a lot of it in real time. Usually took about anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes on most of the drawings I did. Some of them are more labored drawings. I didn't go too crazy on any Happy Show demonstrative drawing video, but I changed it later to Hall's Draws, which makes more sense to call it that in a number of ways, because not only does it tie me to a certain time speed or whatever, I don't have to be quick, even though for program considerations, I still, if it was taking too long, would speed up the footage. But basically, Hall's Draws also personally relates it to me, so I thought it was a better title all the way around. Anyway, I made a quick draw. What was then a quick draw video back in, I posted the video in 2006 on YouTube, but the actual footage was probably 2003 or 2004, probably 2004 for the Happy Show. And because this was back in 2004-ish, for my public access TV show, I did not yet know my pal Al, who would eventually do more music for me and would handle a lot of incidental music as well as my theme music for my program, The Happy Show. So I relied on, as far as a lot of incidental music or background music, on a program, my editing program, which this was not a really high-tech affair here. It wasn't a high-end production. It was me, just recording on a camcorder and all that sort of thing, and editing on my Windows 7 computer or whatever it was at the time. Maybe not even Windows 7 when I started. I can't remember. So the Pinnacle Studio Pro was a affordable commercial brand editing software. And I used that initially for the Happy Show. I would later do Sony Vegas and so on and so forth. So Pinnacle Studio Pro, like a lot of editing software, will provide you what is supposed to be and what's deemed royalty-free music. it comes with that program. They are telling you, as a person who buys their product for editing purposes, that you can use that royalty-free music for your videos, which means that if there's a license to it, one assumes that the Pinnacle Systems, the owner of that software, the distributor, the manufacturer, and all that of it, one assumes they're the ones who paid the license for you to be able to use it, and you are able to use it presumably indefinitely and however format you want to use, because they're not, as I recall, I don't recall this in the manual of any kind, restricting you to how it's used, whether it's public or private. They're expecting a lot of people to use it for home video, but they also know, home video footage, but they also know that there's going to be people that will want to use it for other endeavors that may be commercial. So they're basically selling you this package, and you're expecting this to be royalty free. So I used it on the editing of my stuff for public access television, which was non-commercial purposes anyway, but even though that's probably a moot point, because I don't remember there ever being any kind of limitations placed on using that music in my videos. So this is not the first time this has happened to me. But in the last week, actually just yesterday, I got a copyright claim against a quick draw video I did with an alien that was originally featured on The Happy Show, which was edited by Pinnacle using Pinnacle software. It was edited by me using the software. That featured royalty-free music they provided to me as the editor. Okay? So this has happened, like I said before, where some bit of music that was used through the Pinnacle editing software gets tagged by copyright identification algorithms through YouTube, and then they decide to go ahead and tag me, whether it's automatic or whatever. Somehow I get tagged and not get a strike. I just, strictly speaking, didn't get a strike. But they did do a copyright claim on my video, which was telling me I couldn't monetize my video, which wasn't monetized to begin with. I still have yet to monetize any of my videos. Not to say I wouldn't, I just haven't. Partly because of instances like this, which are a headache. Because I was thinking, okay, I'm legally in the right to use that royalty-free music, but do I want to have to keep dealing with claims? But I still deal with the claims regardless if it's a commercialized video or not, whether it's monetized or not. So I guess I should go ahead and monetize it anyway. So basically, what I'm saying is, this thing got, like I said, tagged as a copyright claimed by this company, saying that fraction of music I used was their music. No debate. I guess it is their music. I don't know, but they licensed or whatever, worked out whatever arrangement they did with Pinnacle and made it royalty free to consumers, and I'm using it the way it was intended to be used, so they could go jump in the lake. I always say, fight the power, fight when you know you're right. And in this case, I'm definitely in the right. I know I'm in the right, and I believe in fighting on principle as much as you can. If you don't fight for your principles, who's going to fight for you? And so I always advocate people fighting for their rights, and I'm sure as heck going to fight for mine. And so anyway, thankfully in this fight, it's not knock down, drag out fight of sorts, but I filed a dispute. I thought it would take a while. I can't remember one getting resolved quite this quickly, but it was just, I think it really hasn't even been 24 hours. And I won. Yes, because I should have. Not being arrogant. I should have. I didn't do anything wrong here, and they were trying to claim music that was given royalty free for usage by people who own that software. And if it's their music and it went through that software, that means that they worked out some deal with that software to allow us to use it royalty free. And again, there's no term limits that I know of. There wasn't stated plainly whenever I bought the software. And I made these points. I made points that it was royalty free and all that in my dispute. So I think they knew they had no actual case to stand on. A lot of people would get a claim like that on a video and just let it go. Don't let it go. Don't ever let it go if you're sure you're right. Don't get me wrong. If I'd used some other music, which I know I've let disputes go, or not disputes, I've let things go undisputed on a few copyright claims because honestly, I knew I created stuff for the public access local television back in the day where the copyright wasn't going to be as big of a deal, and there's some times in those shows that were later uploaded to YouTube after YouTube became a thing. That immediately I knew, okay, I didn't have the official license or whatever. So if I have let stuff like that go, fair is fair. If there is a legitimate claim, and I don't see a point in fighting it, then I don't. And most of the time, anyway, most of these copyright people are, when they do have a legitimate reason to claim it, are fairly reasonable in the sense that they will monetize your video for them, but you're not allowed to monetize it. But they don't take you down. You don't get a strike. They don't take the video down. I mean, you don't have to take your video down. You don't get a copyright strike against your account. I think that's fair. I'm willing to be fair, and I think that's fair. If they can make money off my video, but they're allowing me to go ahead and use their music without any further penalties or anything. Arguably not any penalty really. They're just being able to take money from the view count of my video. But if I'm using their music and I knew it was copyrightable, then I'm fine with that. I think that's a good compromise. That's one of the only instances with all this copyright nonsense on YouTube and such that I'm actually agreeing with. It's like, okay, if it's genuinely infringing on the copyright, but it's not a malicious intent, it's not a commercial intent, they just somebody, and they want to say, okay, well, you can't make money off of us, but we can make money off your video that uses our music. That's a fair compromise. I have no problem with that. I'm willing to be rational about such things. But when you tell me it's royalty free and I can use it in any format and however I'd like, video, as far as video usage, and I do exactly what I understood I was allowed to do, and then you still try to say, well, you go us, or you can't make money off of the video because you use our music, even though I'm not selling their music, understand, regardless. It's just used as an incidental or background music. So, yeah, then that's a whole nother story. Let's see. We're at 17 minutes or so of it into this video, a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and go right into some letters so I can wrap this up before it gets much more than a half hour long. I really was trying to make it less, but I want to do both of these subjects in the same video, so it's kind of more of a time crunch. There may have to be a part 3 to me going through the Happy Show papers. So I'm just going to go through a few real quick. Look, it's the Bandit Bunny. Speaking of copyright characters, as I said, the minute I drew this, it was copyrighted. But and the moment I drew this, it was copyrighted. The moment I wrote this, it was copyrighted. Seriously, it really was. Legally, that's loud. But he is copyrighted in more ways than one. Actually, he's only copyrighted one way, but he's registered. He's one of the... it's kind of funny that this is the sheet I picked up when they were making this video, considering all that preamble about copyrights. Because Bandit Bunny was among the first character that I copyrighted, or trademarked copyrighted. It wasn't the first I ever copyrighted. Arguably, I copyrighted drawings I did when I was 3 years old because it was copyrighted the moment I drew it, right? But I registered a trademark in 1986 through the Library of Congress on him. So he's actually a registered copyright. So yeah, see those shades? You got a bunny wearing shades like that? Don't do it! That's my copyright! There's more to him than that too. He's got a full body. He's a mercenary bunny. You can't trademark a name, but don't try that either. You don't know if I have a trademark on it. but his image is definitely protected by copyright. That specific look that I give him, with the bent ears, the glasses, everything there. So back to the Happy Show, not off of the copyright subject. This is Get a Clue. Whenever I had Happy and we're selling a product called Get a Clue. It's a box. It was actually a crown box. If you ever see the video and want to know the trivia, again, with a lot of these videos I referred to, a lot of the Happy Show stuff, you can probably find clips or the entire show that featured it on this channel or my other sister YouTube channel for the Happy Show. Again, as I've said in the past, you can check my profile here on this channel and probably find the link to that other channel. So this is to get a clue. There's little Wendy dog giving him a kiss and all that because he got a clue, and so everybody liked him then. So anyway, this is a storyboard basically again for that. I mentioned in the previous video that a lot of stuff on the Happy Show was done kind of ad-libbed, more or less on the spot, but every once in a while there'd be something a little bit more involved, and so I would do like a storyboard. Okay, and so I was looking at the bottom here. This is lyrics. This is lyrics to some song I was writing, a goofy song or whatever. Okay, so basically I use it sketched up for a few different things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just show you a thing or two, and then I'm going to go ahead and conclude the video because, again, it's getting a little long, and I'll do another video yet again where I would just try to stay focused on the stuff that's in this folder so we can go through a little bit more of that. But here's storyboards for whenever I played myself as an alien invader who was taking on my appearance and kidnapped Matt from the Happy Show, forget for what reason, but I guess take over Earth, like taking over make yourself look like me and take over the Happy Show was help you conquer the Earth, I guess. I forget the whole deal, but anyway, so this is storyboards for that. I forget what I call that segment, but yeah, I become the evil alien shapeshifter. And we'll go ahead and conclude right here with this, and then I'll go with the other stuff on the next video. But this is a release form. Speaking, see, it kind of still ties in. Not really with copyright, but with people. I didn't really use this very often, but there was a kid who wanted to be part of the show, and I had him in talk with his parents and stuff, and said, well, we sign a release, and would do the same with adults or whatever, of course. He never started on the show. He was a customer at the shop, and he wanted to be part of the show on an episode or something, and also with other people. I decided to make this, but really, they have too many people ever signed a release. I mean, very few people that was ever part of the Happy Show were mostly friends and such, and customers who were friends as well, who also became part of the show. So they're really, I never bought it with a release form for them. Oop, maybe I shouldn't say that in case they come after me. But everything's fine. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap this one up and return to the folder, the special folder full of Happy Show stuff. And just keep in mind, don't let people run you over about those copyrights. And I'll see you in the next video. Yay!